Is anybody here from Mississippi? Anyone? Oh, okay. Forgive me, all right? I was doing this college camp in Mississippi, all right? And I've only been to Mississippi once. And there's only two things I know about Mississippi: Mississippi burning and deliverance, all right? Deliverance wasn't about Mississippi, but it reminded me of it. You know what I'm saying? You've seen Deliverance then. All right, so I'm doing this camp in Mississippi. College kids, all right? College age, we're just hanging out, all right? Never been to Mississippi before, at this camp. And they're going out to do these high ropes course. This thing is like 30, 40, 50 feet up in the air, and that's cool. If you're into that, rock on, all right? But I'm a ground person, you know? I'd rather be in the lodge drinking hot cocoa. I mean, that's my kind of deal. But I'm out there supporting what's going on, all right? So they're there, and we're standing outside, and it starts to pour down rain, all right? I'm not talking about like drip, drip. I'm talking monsoon, all right? I'm talking about we are getting drenched. We are getting wet. And so I'm standing there, and there's a little camp director guy up in the beginning, up at the front, telling the kids about, you know, okay, here's the harness, which looks like a diaper, and different things like that. And so I check out, all right? I'd like to say I was the good speaker, but I checked out thinking to myself, it's a monsoon, all right? We are not going up on a little pole with staples, all right? It's just not right. It's not safe, all right? We are going into the lodge and get dry, all right? So unbeknownst to me, these Philistines of college students have decided that somebody is going to go up first. They chose me. So this guy comes to me with this diaper, all right? And he's looking at me like, okay, I want you to step into this. And I'm like, what you talking about, Willis? I am not. I was like, it is pouring down rain. I was like, there's lightning. The wind is howling. I was like, we are not continuing this foolishness. All right, so I put on the diaper. All right, so he gives the rope, oddly enough, to some college kid. Why, I have no idea. And if you've ever known going up this little deal, all right, there's a guy who I guess is some kind of encourager, and so he's pulling the rope, you know, and he's pulling it so fast that the back end of me is moving faster than the front end, all right? And so, you know, I'm kind of like dangling going, okay, bro, slow down, all right? And so another part of the story is I don't really dig heights, all right? It's not my thing. I don't like being up high. I'm just not Mr. Adventure, all right? So we get on this platform with this girl, all right? There's not a whole lot of space for the both of us, all right? So one of us is going to have to die. That's what I'm thinking to myself. So I get up there, and she's like, whoa, glad to see you, slapping me on the back. And I'm like, whoa, okay. Chill with the slapping, all right? So she unhooks me and puts me, the first little apparatus is this 3-cable deal going this way and 1 cable deal at the bottom, all right? Now, here's what makes this whole deal even more jacked up. The college students have now moved themselves out of the rain underneath the canopy, all right? They're dry. It's just the 4 of us, and I am getting drenched, all right? I'm just thinking, and they're like, go, Derrick, go. I'm like, shut up. You're not here, all right? And so they hooked me to this apparatus, all right? 2 out here, 1 out here. I got to shimmy to the other end of this little kind of another station or another platform, another college student, all right? So I get the bright idea that it'd be a good idea if I brought the little cables together and I just go on my merry way, all right? So I get on this little deal, and the wind is howling, and this little thing is, woo, 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 woo. Once again, don't like heights, and I'm thinking, I am going to fall to my death, all right? So I jack those bad boys out like that, going, so I get to the other end of this deal, all right? Get off there. There's a guy at this station, unhooks me from one apparatus and hooks me onto another one, goes, woohoo, God debate, they're just slapping me on the back. I'm like, don't do that, all right? This apparatus has 1 cable here, all right, 1 cable here. Did I tell you it's pouring down rain? All right, I mean, Noah is flying by in an ark. I mean, it's just pouring down, and I'm just wiping this, rain. I'm just like, this is jacked up. I mean, when will we stop? So he hooks me on this, and he's like, okay, you got to shimmy like some kind of monkey to get to the other end of this deal. So you're just like, all right, the wind is blowing so hard. I'm like going back, going forward, going back, thinking, I am going to puke my guts out all over this ground. And so I make my little monkey descent going. I get to this last deal, all right, hooking me unhooked me from one, hooks me to the other, and I was like, guys trying to slap me in the back. I was like, I will throw you off of here if the next person slaps me out the back. I was like, just say that for your mama. All right, so we're there. I'm standing there, and we're looking at each other, and I'm like, all right, so how do I get down? And he's like, dude, you jump. I'm like, Willis, what are you talking about? I'm not jumping nowhere. I'm looking over the edge going, jump where? I mean, I'm like, free fall to my death? I'm like, where's this going? He's like, oh, no. You see that tree? Yes. Why would I want to jump and slide toward a tree? He's like, oh, no. See, you're not going to hit the tree. See, you see that little wooden stump right there? That little wooden kind of like knot right there? Yeah. He goes, there's a knot behind it. You should stop. You should stop. I'm like 190. I thought, I am going to this thing was like, phew. I thought, I'm going to crack my skull on that tree, and these people are going to go, yeah, he died. Ah. I don't like heights. It's pouring down rain. College kids are dry. I'm wet. Everyone's like, whoa, go, there, go. I'm like, shut up. And so I'm on the edge of this thing thinking, okay, I don't like to jump for no absolute reason. So I was thinking about the talk I was going to do that night. So we're talking about the glory of God. So I thought, all right, so I'll just jump to the glory of God, that spiritual pep talk. So I I just closed my eyes and said, glory to God. All right. Now let me tell you what happened. All right. I am coming at the earth faster than anything. All right. Now remember, I'm in a diaper. All right. The boys will sympathize with me, all right? So there's a lot of rope here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just falling, and then that rope just kind of gets to the end of it and goes, which is the words I said. So I jump and go, whoa! Okay, but I hit so hard, all right? It begins now to turn me upside down. And I'm doing these like revolutions, all right? And I'm just like a black cannonball going straight toward this, tree, all right? And I'm just like, and it hits that little wooden thing, which it did stop me, glory to God, and it just whips me back around, and then when they find me, I am tangled up in this rope, upside down. Little college kid comes with he goes, dude, that was sweet. And I was like, we're all going into the lodge now for ice cream. And I was like, you stink, So they unhooked me from the diaper, and, I have to grotto for days. Let me just tell you after that. They unhooked me from that deal, and I was just like, never again. But right before I went up, little camp guy said these words to me. It's like we run a Christian camp here, and everything is challenged by choice. Anything you don't want to do, you don't have to do. You just say, let me down, let me off. Christianity is largely challenged by choice. The degree of your spiritual life will be measured by how many times you say yes to God, or how many times you say no to God. God is not going to make us worship. God is not going to make us just adore Him. You must choose worship. You must choose to follow after God and to love Him and to be His watchman in this world. He's not going to save your parents by osmosis. He's not going to save your friends by osmosis. He needs you to do something. I was doing a youth revival in Bay City, Texas. I'm sure none of y'all knows where that is because it's like way small podunk town, all right? So I had to fly into Houston, drive to Bay City. Bay City, Texas is so small. You know the town hall kind of like facade, all right, and the marquee? My name is on that marquee. If I'm your entertainment in Bay City, you ain't got nothing going on, all right? They put my picture on the registers of almost every business in that place. You know how freaky it is to go to a gas station and see your mug on a cash register and go, oh my goodness, right next to Save the Children. I mean, you know, we need to save him. I mean, it's just like, what in the world is going on? And so everywhere I go in this very small town, and a lot of times I don't get a car, I certainly don't get a Hummer, I'm just kind of stuck, you know, no wheels, no nothing. So I kind of like, you know, say that to the youth minister, if I'm going to be here for a week, I'm going to need like some wheels. So he hooks me up with a scooter. Not a motorcycle, a scooter. I'm talking about candy apple red, Briggs & Stratton, 3 horsepower, meep, scooter. Red helmet, full ensemble, rocking it out, all right? So I'm going around town in the scooter, meep, you know, people are honking at me because I'm the only one on a scooter, all right, in this town. So they're like, hey, that's the preacher on a scooter, woo, you know, beep. I'm like, meep. So everywhere I go in this town, all right, people are like, hey, saw your name on the marquee, nice to meet you, saw your face on the register, hey, don't go down Avenue C. Gotcha. And this keeps going on and on and on and on. And not that I'm Mr. Adventurous, but if you keep telling me over and over not to do something, just sign me up to do it. You know what I'm saying? Just because I just want to go check it out and see what's going on. So I'm at the Citgo, all right? And I'm gassing up the scooter. Great gas mileage. All right, so I'm in there, all right? And I go to this lady and I go, I want to know how to get to Avenue C, all right? And she's like, aren't you the preacher? I'm like, yeah. You want to go down Avenue C? Yeah. You want to buy crack or something like that? I was like, no, I just want to check it out. And she says to me literally, are you going to go on the scooter? I was like, yeah. She says, Lord help you. All right. So I get my directions to find it, and it's like 4 blocks away from the church that I'm preaching at, all right? Now, Bay City, pretty white bread place. I just got to tell you that right now, all right? So I'm on the scooter, all right? I turn down Avenue C, and I drop into the ghetto. Not the ghetto, all right? I'm talking about the only people you see in like rap stars and that kind of deal. I'm talking about these are real thugs, all right? It's like 10 o'clock in the morning, all right? And, you know, people tossing back a 40-ounce breakfast, you know what I'm saying? I mean, people, you know, money exchanging hands, and I'm just like, oh, that's not good, all right? I passed by a place called Wanda's Groove Shack. I have no idea what goes on in there, but I wanted to wait until 11 just to find out. I mean, and I just saw all these people and just everywhere, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. And they're looking at me riding the scooter thinking, we're going to jack him. And so, so Avenue C dead ends, all right? And they're looking at me like, oh yeah. And so, true story. Park the scooter, I get off of it, and I start rolling around on the ground, laughing my head off, all right? And so they're looking at me like, that fool's crazy. Look at him. No need to kill him. And so they go on and do their little crack deal and leave me alone. And so, you know, I get back on the scooter, all right? And I get to the church that night, and I'm at this church, all right, and I get ready to speak. I said, today your preacher went down Avenue C. And you could have, I mean, the oxygen was just sucked out of that place with the, oh my God, are you all right? Did they sell your body for crack? And the guy's like, is the scooter all right? Just wanna know. We're going to need that back. That's just a rental. It's like, scooter's fine. I'm fine. And I asked him, I said, has anybody here ever been down Avenue C? And they're like, no. Why would we ever do such a foolish thing? I said, does anybody here know what street Avenue C dead ends into? Nope. Avenue C, the roughest street in Bay City, Texas, dead ends into a street called Grace. Grace. I said to them, isn't that just like all of our lives? No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what your deal, all of our lives run into dead end, into a street called grace. And that's what we testify to. And that is our testimony, that we would go into this world and say, you know what? No, I'm not perfect. No, I don't do all the things the right way. But I've encountered grace. And when you've encountered grace, I mean, it just begins to change you. And it begins to shape you and gives you a whole new thought of what it means to do ministry and what it means to serve God out of grace. But here's the kind of like opposite end of that. One of my favorite verses in the Bible is this. It's Jonah 2:8. And it says this: those who cling to worthless idols forfeit the grace that could be theirs. You say that again. Those who cling to worthless idols forfeit the grace that could be theirs. Have you forfeited grace for a worthless idol?